minus 30 seconds. T minus 20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Acquire, master, and launch your vision today with Vision Writers USA.
Second season of the Male Perspective. Woo! All right. I'm pumped. I'm excited to just be back with my brothers. Look, it's been a long time since we've had a chance to get together, to chop it up, to just share, to be real, to be honest, to just talk about our truth. What is the male perspective? The male perspective is a safe place for men to have the uncomfortable conversation in a public forum so that we can heal. We want men to understand that we have to open up and talk. So we're going to have the uncomfortable conversation. We also want the ladies to be privy to these conversations so that they can get a perspective that maybe you didn't have before. Maybe you can't talk to your guy. I don't know. But tonight, you have an opportunity to listen in as we share from the male perspective. We're going to be talking about men's wellness. Now, I know that's a very serious topic, and so I don't take it lightly. I have the suicide hotline scrolling across. So if you are watching this, please, please, please reach out to someone and just make sure you need to understand love is out there for you. So please call the hotline, reach out to someone if you are being challenged in that way. So without further ado, I am going to introduce tonight's guest panelist. So let's start down here at the bottom from Florida, Fort Lauderdale. Unmute your mic, Mr. Rubin. Please introduce yourself. Say where you from and what you do. Let's get it.
Namaste, God and goddesses. I'm from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I'm a Reiki master. I'm an energy healer. I'm a wellness coach. I'm a personal trainer. But the main thing is I'm a suicide survivor. I want to take my life a long time ago based on the way I felt within myself. And the day I actually get ready to blow my brains out, I heard a voice inside me speak to me. And kind of from that day forward, I've been searching to understand what that entity was that spoke into me. And once I understood that, I teach other people how to go within their self and find an inner divinity to kind of rewire their belief system about themselves through different processes. Like I say, having uncomfortable conversation about really the trauma, the uncertainties, especially with men. We're not allowed to speak about our emotions. That's something that we're not talking about. You're going to take my man call. So just debunking all the foods that keep us in such a low vibrational, non-networking, non-communicative. Because men, we need to be vulnerable. It's a beautiful place to be vulnerable. So I'm glad to be a part of it. And with the Reiki, it helps us clear the energy, not just from us, but from my DNA, from my ancestors that's 1,000 years old that sometimes we don't understand through our chakras. So helping health energy and coming together as one, it is a beautiful thing, man. So I'm just glad to be a part of this, and thank you for having it, brother.
Wow, man, that's amazing. Thank you for just being transparent. That's what it's all about, just being open. Um, LG, unmute, talk to us. Where you from? Where you at? What you do?
I'm a military brat. So my father was in the military when I was born. I was actually born in Omaha, Nebraska, like you and I was there my first 5 years, like some of the people that are here. So I feel like I'm back, you know. But yeah, but the years have taken
Hey,
me into that marketing perspective of that's what I help people build businesses, especially focusing on that introvert, that maybe quiet, shy, reserved type person that really has a message that they want to share, and they have a gift, and maybe sometimes are treated unfairly, and when I think they really have some information that should be celebrated. A lot of times you got the people with the flash, people with the big voice, they're the ones being heard, but then there's also some of those people that aren't being heard that really have something to offer. I want to make sure those people are heard, and they're able to support their family and do well in life. Now I'm happy to be here. In the male perspective, what I think about is a big thing to open my eyes is, my family is about to crumble several years ago, and I was put in a put in a position where I had to make a choice. Either I just let my family crumble, or I see what I can do about it. And coming from a background where my father's father blew his brains out when his family was crumbled, uh,
mm,
I just couldn't let myself go in that direction at all. And I'm so happy I did, because it really helped me find my purpose, my drive, and my family's so much better for it. You're not perfect, but it's going in the right direction, and I hope more of us can have that experience. Thank you, Jeff.
wow. Woo, man, I appreciate that. Man, that's something else. Man, you said that behind stage, and that just shakes me when I think about that. And so I'm definitely glad you were able to recover and go down a different path, because you would not be here and to share. That would be a soul not here. So I'm definitely glad you were still in the space. Um, Alton, unmute and introduce yourself, please, sir.
Evening, family. I am your wealth minister, Alton D. Walton III. I'm originally from Rochester, New York, where I experienced poverty in my community, and what helped me to get out of that space mentally and physically is financial information that a fellow friend has shared with me, and the implementation of that information brought transformation in my life. So me coming from a rough background from the inner city of Rochester, New York, knowing what it is growing up on welfare, knowing what it is to go to the corner store to get credit and to barely have anything, seeing poverty around me. Well, that's my inspiration. I'm here to help families to create and to transfer wealth. I'm the CEO of Sky Legacy Financial Services, where we provide you and your family with the financial tools that you need in order for you and them to build a financial shelter for generations. And we do that by providing information in the arena of credit restoration, business credit, business funding. Additionally, I am a licensed life insurance advisor, where we specialize in cash value life insurance, where we teach these various methods to help you to be able to create and to transfer wealth, because life insurance is a wealth creating and transferring tool. I yield. Looking forward to serving you on this evening, family.
Awesome. Also, if you're watching this video, this live right now, please put something in the comments. Say your name, where you're watching from. Please, please, please. Also, love it, share it. Maybe you got some guys, some males who definitely need to hear this conversation. Tag them on Facebook. Let them know, hey, there's a conversation that's going on that you might want to hear. So definitely put your name in the comments, say hello so we can shout you out. All right. Next, Mr. James T. Perry. Mute. Introduce yourself. Where you from? Where good stuff.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm James Perry. I'm better known as the Pudgy Man P. I'm a comedian and truck driver for Miller Lumber. I
Is it me or can I not? Is he talking?
Can you not hear me, Tim?
Uh,
I can hear him fine.
something just I can't hear anything.
I can hear him. Check your headset, see if it's plugged in. Can you hear us?
And it
I
can't
can
be
hear y'all.
me. If everybody can hear, give me a thumbs up. Okay, so it might be just me. All right.
Yeah.
So something went on my end. Y'all keep talking.
Hey.
Well, again, like I said, I'm James Perry. I'm a comedian, better known as the Pudgy Man P. I too am a survivor of suicide. On November 4th, I tried to take my own life. I put a gun to my chest and I pulled the trigger. And everybody was asking me what I was thinking, and I want people to know that it wasn't a thought
And if
process; it
you
was a
all
reaction.
are still there, just
It was a reaction to what was happening to me, and I needed guidance. I needed somebody to be able to hear what I was feeling, and I couldn't find anybody to who would understand that feeling. And I just want to let people know there are people who look like you who are going through the same things that you're going through. This mental health thing isn't just a one culture problem, it's a multicultural problem. Every man in the world has a stress that no one else understands but another man. And sometimes it's good to be able to open up to another brother and be able to be vulnerable, like you guys were saying. And that is my goal, is to be able to try and reach people who look like me, who come where I come from, so they can understand that it affects all of us. And it's really good to know that there are other brothers out there who are men of men, and it don't make you feel less of a man to be able to open up to another man and let them know because they understand your pain. You
Fact.
know, it's good to have a queen in your corner that can console you, but the understanding of my pain is the thing you need most. And when another person understands your pain, you have a connection. And us as black men, we don't really connect with each other. We put this display of dominance towards one another, and we put each other down, and we don't embrace each other and be stronger together. You see what I'm saying? I feel like we really push each other to the ground in order to feel like we can stand. And I don't want to push another man to the ground to feel like I could stand. I'd rather help you to your feet so you can stand next to me.
Now that makes plenty of sense, brother. Too. It's a system that they what we're doing right now. We're breaking the mental curse that they have on us of that black men can't communicate. We're not emotional. We just beasts. So, like you said, we have to understand our social wellness. Who am I talking to that's going to allow me to be my vulnerable self? I cry, so what? I cry, but at the end we're gonna have a solution, and I'm gonna feel better about it. To have that release because coming up, we were taught you can't cry, you can't show emotion, and that builds up. That makes us a half of a person because we only being so masculine. We're not including our feminine side, which is being flexible, which is being vulnerable. Man, when I cry, sometimes it feels like,
So good.
man,
So
it's
good.
a relief, man. It's a
So
relief
good,
to
bro.
come from the depths of my soul. So what we doing stuff for our generation. It ain't just us; it's our ancestors that's pouring through us to clean their old energy too. So by us talking about it, I didn't pull the trigger, but I had the gun to my head. And the spirit say, you ain't hungry? I'm like, yeah, you know what? I do want a sandwich. So I never understand what you're saying.
Yeah, and see, when you said that you heard something inside of you, I tell you, I sat on the edge of my bed and I put the gun to my chest and I took a deep breath and I heard, "Baby, don't." And
Mm,
I turned my head, and when I turned my head, the gun kind of moved back and it went off, so it went through my chest and out my arm. But
you heard that voice.
I looked back because I thought it was my wife.
Uh-huh.
But she didn't hear anything until I started screaming. She didn't even hear the gunshot.
Mm,
So inside of me is something told me I'm supposed to be here.
yeah.
And I don't have all the tools and I don't know all the information to be able to get myself a platform like this and be able to reach out to people and let them
Mm-hmm.
know my message.
Mm-hmm.
But any platform that I can get on to deliver my message, I will gladly share my story, because people ask me all the time, well, what were you thinking? I wasn't thinking. I reacted to what was happening to me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And the only way I can explain it is like, remember when you first learned how to swim
Right.
and you thought you had it down, so you jumped off the high dive in that deep water
Yes,
and you
sir.
didn't go all the way down, so you couldn't push off. And
Right.
even though you could see the light at the top, it seemed so far away. And you didn't think you was going to be able to hold your breath and make it to that light.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I felt. I felt stuck in the
Mm,
middle of the water.
whoa.
I couldn't push off and I couldn't make it to the top. And I was running out of air.
Mm. Wow, that's a
You
hell of a
know, I think really
thing.
connected with me what you were saying when you said you don't have all the tools, and what my marketing background has taught me a lot of things, is that like I got all this training and I can learn about all these tools, but I just got to build my foundation, and then
Mm-hmm.
I'm never gonna know it all. I just have to find those things to help me grow and just keep doing that thing and keep growing. And like, and actually really that really helped me, like when I was in that situation where I had to decide what I was going to do about my family.
Mm-hmm.
I had the research skills, and I had to I really actually changed myself into the product and the service that my wife wants, and not just my
Mm-hmm.
wife but anybody would want,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And also, like, you know, what you were saying about brothers not helping each other, and the suicide and and brothers not helping each other means a lot, because it seems like if we're not helping each other, instead of helping each other, we're either killing ourselves or we're killing each other.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah,
Right.
there
And
is that this, and that's what this is. The beautiful part of this is we're here and we're showing people that there are people that want to come together and improve and transform the world, really.
right. And that's what I'm trying to tell people, like, I'm past the point of pride. I need help and I need somebody to help me. And a lot of us are stifled by our pride
Mm-hmm.
and they won't ask for help. Pride will make you die of starvation when there's food on the table.
Mm-hmm.
Pride will make you die of thirst when there's a bucket of water right there you just can't ask for.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm past that point. I'm at the point where I don't know anything. Teach me what you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's so many chiefs and there's no Indians. I'm trying to be an Indian. So when I start my own village, I could be a good chief.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying?
I overstand.
And that's where I'm at. I
Mhm.
now I try to take my comedy and I try to take it and I try to address real issues and make light of them so that people understand. Like I said, if you can laugh, you can live. You know, and I just want you to laugh when it's so rough and it's so heavy. Laugh and put it down. Just put it down for a second and laugh, and you'll feel that charge. So when you pick it back up, you realize it's not that heavy.
And you know what's so beautiful, brother? By you being a comedian, when you laugh, your brain releases that dopamine to help you feel good, either a fake laugh or real laugh. So laughing is definitely a good form of therapy, and you don't need no prescription for it. Just allow yourself to laugh and then shift the energy within. So your comedy is sound like your ministry that helps people laugh
Mm,
through it, and I help people how to breathe, how
mm,
to get out of that fight or flight
mm.
mentality and get in that mental clarity that I can feel my feelings and think I'm under attack don't truly mean I'm under attack. So let me really evaluate the situation and get the truth of feeling, not just based on my emotion, but really what's going on right here, right now in this space and time. So what you do
Right.
makes plenty sense.
Yes, and I appreciate that, man. And like I said, I'm here to really learn because I want to be able to enter a platform like this, and when I leave it, somebody be like, "That helped me today," you
Mm-hmm.
know.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I want to give all shouts out and appreciation to Tim because him allowing me to be able to be on here and do this, it really helps me
Wow.
because
That's
again, when you talk to a stranger, you can get somebody to understand you because a stranger don't know you.
Right.
So they're not going to be defensive. But if you try to talk to your mom about your childhood, she instantly going to feel like you questioning her parenting. But all you really
right.
trying to
That's
say
good.
is, at
So
right at this stage, this happened to me at this age, and it affected me this way, and I feel like I am this way because of that. I'm not saying you was a bad mom. I'm just saying when this happened to me, this is the results of it. But they don't understand that. They feel attacked. So you can't talk to your mom about your childhood. But I don't know you from Adam, and I can tell you when I was 6, I felt like this, and you would understand. Because when you were 7, the same thing happened to you. And you ain't saying your mom was a bad mom. You're just saying these are the things that happened, and this is how it affected me.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you just need that understanding.
Mm-hmm.
If I may comment too, I
It's
want to
9
talk
o'clock.
about the psychological piece about it because I had to go see a therapist. And that's when I began to
wow.
understand the importance of psychology and how it is an excellent coping mechanism. It's also therapeutic. It's definitely therapeutic because when I spoke to the psychologist, I was able to release. It was like what Brother Namaste was saying earlier, about when he cried, how there was a release.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, when I was
So
speaking to that therapist, it was a release
real
for me.
real quick, can y'all hear me?
Yes, yes, we can.
It's a slight delay though.
Okay, now as I was stating, that actually helped to bring healing into my life. And I love what my brother said earlier because of me coming from the inner city, I can definitely talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I like to tell people I didn't come from Hollywood, I came from the hood.
All day, all day.
you know, you know what I'm saying? So when that brother was talking about not crying, holding things in, I distinctly remember actually taking some blows, and I didn't cry in front of the fellas. When I got by myself,
He said he gonna cry when he get in the car. He gonna cry
Right.
when he
Right.
I felt like my man Chris Tucker with Debo. Oh, yeah. When we walk away, I'm gonna start talking again.
right, right, right.
That's the way I felt. When I took those blows, man, I said, I can't let them see me fold, boy.
Hey,
But
never
it's
let him.
all right,
They
man.
say don't let him see you sweat, right?
No doubt, man. No doubt, man. But it's the truth, though. In all seriousness, man. It does clog us up, and like my brother said, it's so true. A lot of brothers are walking around with anger, inside of them, and the truth is, a lot of times we just need that TLC. We don't need the TLC for as tough love and care.
Right.
We need the TLC for as tender love and care.
Mm-hmm.
And as men, we're taught that it's weak for us to be able to even admit what I just admitted, right? And some,
Mm-hmm.
oh
That
man, he
part.
lost points, and everything like that, and I feel like once we get to that point, like Brother Namaste, he specializes in, dealing with the mind, dealing with, transforming your mind for the betterment. Because
Mm-hmm.
we all know that there is a negative transformation
Indeed.
And then there's a positive, right? So I like the work he does because it helps us to understand that it's okay to do those things. Like it's okay to not be okay.
Right.
And we wrestle with that. And I think that men, once we get to that point where and I'm not talking about I think sometimes when we think about showing emotion and love, sometimes people, they exaggerate it. We're not talking about snotting and crying every time something
right. Right.
Right.
Nah, we not talking about that. We talk about saying, hey man, what happened in my relationship, it hurt me. When she left me, it hurt me.
It hurt.
When my homeboy betrayed me, it hurt me. You know what I'm saying? And having a safe space like brothers like us who understand that, bro, you're not soft because you saying you got hurt. You know what I'm saying? That makes you human. It don't make you a wimp. It doesn't make you a sucker. Don't make you a punk. None of that. I yield the mic, man.
Yeah, and then people don't understand. Pain is pain, whether it's physical or emotional. You can punch me in the jaw and it not hurt half as bad as her breaking my heart. You understand what I'm saying? But I get twice the flack if I'm hurt from her breaking my heart than I would be if you punch me in the jaw. So I get, you soft, you weak because you let her break your heart and you crying about it. But if you get punched in the jaw and you don't cry, you the man.
Right.
But if you get hit in the heart and you cry, you ain't the man. You something else.
Right.
But I ain't never met a man that get punched in the heart and not cry. You know what I'm saying?
I overdid.
And the thing is we taught to deal with our emotions with anger. I know two emotions, mad and sad.
Right. Wow.
So when I fell in love, I didn't know what to do. When I ran into despair, I didn't know what to do. So I got mad. Because mad, I can do mad. Mad is easy.
Right.
But the love is the complicated part because I don't know how to approach it. You can't yell at love. You can't grab love by the head and punch it. You know what I'm saying? So what do I do with this love? And then when I feel it getting too real and I feel me losing myself, I go do something stupid so I don't have to deal with that love. That love can go away and now I'm safe because I don't know how to deal with that. I know how to deal with you being mad at me because I cheated or because I ain't nothing right now. When I'm at my lowest, I know how to deal with that because I'm used to that. What I'm not used to is being on top and somebody loving me simply because I'm me. I'm used to being on top of people loving me because I got a little money, because I can do a couple favors. I ain't used to somebody loving me because they love me. And now I'm lost. And I don't know who to turn to because everybody I turn to, they just as lost as I am. So who do we turn to when that lost feeling hit and you about to do something dumb? Because 9 times out of 10, your homie to your left and your right is like, yeah, man, do that. Do it. She ain't all that. They ain't telling you stay and fight for your love. They ain't telling you to ignore the distractions because they don't want you to be somewhere better. And again, only thing you know how to do is mad and sad. So you feel like that's got to be true because you don't really know nothing else. And so we find ourselves in a cycle of, disappointed relationships, and the disappointment becomes the norm. If I have a relationship that lasts longer than 3 years, I'm doing something wrong. And so when it starts to last, you get complacent and you like, oh well, all I gotta do is just stay still and maybe she won't notice me and we'll just keep this thing going. But then you stay still and you don't grow with the relationship because you don't know what else to do. So you just let the relationship grow like a weed, just however it go, because you don't want to mess it up. But you don't know that's how you're messing it up because you don't know how to nurture the love that you receive it. So you don't know how to reciprocate.
There's a lot of
And
misconceptions, and yeah, that's a big thing I've had to learn. Is like what's real, what's not, because a lot of times we're told things that don't work, and we think we should just do them, and that's why I learned not to just listen to somebody say something that's supposed to work for you. That's why I started really researching. It's like just because you
right,
my friend don't mean you're gonna help me out. And I
right,
realized
right,
most of my friends didn't come from happy marriages, so I was
right,
like, I'm not, and you know, one of my, I mean, I think it really was trying to be a friend. But when I went to him when we were about ready to split and asked, thinking I was gonna get his help to help us stay together, he just told her, if you're not happy, you should leave.
right.
And I was
Well,
like,
but they don't
and
tell you how to get happy though. Like you tell me how to
she
leave, but
left.
you
She
don't tell me
left. She changed the locks on me.
how
You know,
to.
but
And then out, that's easy.
but I don't. You know, that's where I was like, I had put way too much trust in my friends and thinking that they was going to, just because they my friends, they're going to help lead my life the direction it needs to go.
Right, right,
And that's why I learned self-reliance. And I
right,
was
and
like,
see,
I mean, and I guess it's weird. I mean, I hear you what you're saying. It's like you want people to be able to support you, but to be honest with me, it's like I found that as a man, I actually have to build that inner strength so I can actually be the person I'm supposed to be and not be pretending.
right, and that's why I try to explain to people. Even Superman need help. That's what the Justice League was for. And
I,
I try to be that Superman, that foundation, but a lot of the times you find the important things falling through the cracks. I made a I made a post on Facebook. It was your reputation is what people think about you. Your character is who you are. Don't assassinate your character trying to save your reputation. And that's how I felt like the things that I went through when I tried to kill myself, that's what I felt like I did. Because everybody thought of me as the helpful guy and the guy that would do it for you if you needed it. And if you ever needed somebody to be there, he would be there. Trying to be that person, I forgot about me being the person who needed help, who
I
needed
call it,
somebody to encourage.
yeah. I call that, like, I mean, the word that popped up as you were saying that was, you were a, and I was definitely, I don't know if you were this, but I was a needy person. I needed people to bring that. And when I had to let go of that, like I had to take all the neediness that is in my body and just get rid of it because I didn't need people's approval. I mean, I'm happy to get it. I appreciate it, but it becomes so much thing. Like so someone would say, you should do this, you should do that. And I realized I was switching up all my stuff. And I was like, that's neediness. Who am I? What do I want out of this situation?
Right.
And that's when I learned that that's actually the best thing you can do to keep a relationship strong is find out what you want from a relationship and go after that and keep focused and solid on that.
Right. And then a lot of the
Change my
problems
world.
that I had, a lot of
So
problems that I
can
had
I
was,
let me
oh,
interject
go ahead, Sue.
real quick, and this is great. I've been catching bits and pieces of all of this. So you said something just about support, and definitely I heard what you said, Lawrence, about not wanting or needing support and just doing the strength, the inner build on the inside so that you don't need as much, right?
No, it's not that simple. But it's like, I mean, from in my situation, I didn't have anybody, so I had to be strong.
Okay,
So it's
right.
like,
Before you go on, so just wanted to say this. So I think, especially in the Black community with Black men, it's kind of that we're supposed to be strong all the time and never be weak. That perception facilitates all of the things that we're talking about today, the mental health issues. So I wanted to ask this question. How many of you have ever been part of a positive brotherhood? Just whether it's a football team, a basketball team, where they were positive, where you truly had a network of strong men or males. Even if you was just boy, like you had, like they were strong and they were positive. Let me just see who's ever had that, either growing up. First of all, like, have you had it growing up? Okay, all right. Now, how many of you still have a tribe of strong men now as an adult? Okay, so I see the hands kind of change. So if you think about that, when you do go through, if you aren't built and strengthened, what are your alternatives that you can legitimately suggest for those of you who are like, I got this thing? What are your legitimate things, that steps that you can take? You have no support, you empty on the inside. Like James said, you literally are drowning. You don't know what to do, and there's nowhere to turn. Does anybody have that story or understand what I'm saying and can give like some 1, 2, 3, like something you can do?
I would say me. Oh, go ahead.
No, you got to go ahead.
I never really had positive role models, male role models in my life. Even to right now, to this day, a lot of them pretend to be positive to something so-called positive don't happen. So with me, I had to go within and just really start meditating and be my own best friend and be my own support and be less codependent, because if somebody's not mentally available for themselves, they can't be mentally available for me. And if I'm going through something that might traumatize them, they can't help me truly. So I had to go truly within and I could tap back into that voice that told me, "Hey, don't you want a sandwich?" So I'm very more unfolding, 'cause I never had a religion or anybody to guide me or lead me. Everything was from inwardly. So to be around other men to let lead me, that's foreign to me. I would never I would never give an opportunity or been around enough real men who truly walk on what they truly saying. And if I'm around you and say you're not walking on what you're saying, I can't vouch like that. If you're not organic and walking on 1,000%, I'm not gonna be able to cooperate with you, because not gonna feel right within my spirit.
That's good. So how do you what's the first step to going within? Like how
Uh,
do you approach that?
the,
Like
the first step, the first step with me is actually us as just people. We don't like feeling uncomfortable feelings, but I had to learn how to feel an uncomfortable feeling to see if it's actually true. Just because I feel threatened, that don't truthfully mean I'm threatened. So if they're like, okay, if I'm not truly threatened, what's what want me to believe that I'm threatened? I'm like, oh man, like it's something that want me to believe that. That's that inner work. That trauma, that lower vibration, that need, that pettiness, that low drama to feed on. So I'm like, oh, this was going on. So going within for me is like setting a trap, because I understand what's trying to get my awareness, not my consciousness. It's my awareness that it wants to kidnap and manipulate and then drain the energy like vampires. So now when I see that, if something come negative, I play a game and turn to a positive, mental alchemy. So now I understand what's going on. It's not nothing personal. It's an energy transference. So now it's like football. Like they want me to have a lower vibration, and I choose not to. So I'm just being very mindful of just my inner workings, just what thoughts are trying to get to manipulate me to do something either to myself or somebody else that's on lower vibration. So I just check them like security at the door. If you're not high vibration, I'm not even gonna connect with you, yo.
wow, I love that. That's good. What was you saying, James?
And I was like the same thing, but like I said, my whole thing with it is, as far as the positive male role models, I have collected a village of my own.
Mm,
I have subconsciously collected the men in my life to be around me, because those are parts of me, or parts of me that I want to build on. You know, my my kid's mom, their dad, I chose to bring him into my life and make him a part of my village
Mm-hmm.
and connected with him. Even though he was a white man, he treated me like a son.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, my wife now, her dad. Uh, I connect with him because of the output that he gives as far as the father figure and the do's and don'ts of life. Like it's not so much as older men or just men in general. I have a cousin who is an awesome father, and I keep him in my life to remind myself of the things that I need to be able to do as far as a man, as to be a father, because I see his selfish sacrifices for his kids. And it reminds me those are the things that you want to be when it comes to being a man. You know, just my grandfather, he was a major influence in my life. And those men, I take them as a collective and I take parts of each of them because I feel like that's what I use to build my foundation on. And those are the things that I try to stand on as far as being a man. Because if you don't take your past and mix it with your present, then you got no future. And I want to be able to, when my kids see the completed project of me, they have a blueprint on how to build their foundation.
Mm. So let's take this over here. So having said that, when do you feel your strongest? I'll say for me, let me answer real quick, and then everybody can kind of go around the room. Um, I feel my strongest when um, I'm quiet and meditating. Like I feel so strong when I'm quiet. When I shut my mouth, I feel very powerful, very strong, and very connected. Um, and so I have to do that daily. Otherwise, the thoughts will bombard me like a flood
Mm-hmm.
and have me all over the place. Um, and majorly, I meditate on the vision, and it's what I see. It's that light. So I close my eyes and I literally say my vision statement to myself, and I visualize what that looks like. And after that, I'm like, yes, because I'm excited and I'm on fire about that destination that I see down the line, or how I see myself. So if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Alton, when is it that you feel your strongest?
When I do not yield to the temptation. When I
Whatever that
don't yield,
temptation may
man.
be.
When I don't yield, I'm just keeping it real with you, man. You know, because that really shows your strength. Let the truth be told.
Mm,
Because a lot of times we think we're so tough. Let the truth be told, men, we think we're so tough because we got all these muscles, right? But when the weight of life weighs on us, we buckle. You
Mm-hmm.
understand what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
you know your muscle will not save you in this life. In this life, you got to be able to have a higher consciousness, and that's why I love what our brother having our brother. You know, now I'm gonna stay thug on seriously because the spirituality part is what's really lacking. Let us just keep it real. It's really what's lacking amongst us is that we're disconnected from our spirituality. We're disconnected from our culture. You know what I'm saying? So honestly, that's when I feel the most strength when I don't give in to my lower nature.
mm,
You know, when I allow uh, my higher nature to win, not
woo,
let my ego start boxing.
Mm-hmm.
woo.
You know,
Facts.
Right, right.
you know, and put
That's good.
putting these hands on somebody. You understand what I'm
Right, right.
saying?
That's
Hoorah.
good.
You know, because like my brother. And bro, he's a good friend of mine anyway. You know, I know my brother when I lived in South Florida. You know, he's a good brother. You know what I'm saying? So, when I was out there in the streets, man, he know what I'm talking about because he come from that life. It's a totally different story, because you so used to using these. In all seriousness, man, you so used to using these. You're not used to using this. You're really not. So when I use this instead of my fist,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
Right.
I got to encourage myself. You know, I have to
Right.
encourage myself. I yield the mic, man. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's good. Namaste. When do you feel your strongest?
My strongest is when I just allow life to just show up, like how it
Ooh,
come, what it may be. Just allow it and allow myself to feel how I feel. I don't know I feel the strong. Just allow myself to feel just how I feel, and that's why I feel the strongest. Then just allowing, not trying to control, and just allow
wow,
it. Yeah, just allow it.
man. So basically, you're not afraid to experience pain or pleasure. It's no fight. If it hurt, it hurt. Fine.
But you know what though? That's how you grow, because you got growing pains. We working new muscle is pain. Like us as when we are afraid of emotional pain, because us as men, we're not taught that. We taught how to play football, how to change a tire, how to make women, how to put clothes on. We never taught how to have a clear communication conversation. We never taught to be truthful about how I feel about my emotion. We were never taught how to be faithful to ourselves. We were
Ooh,
never taught that. We were never taught that. So we was always taught what other people want, but we never taught that, but maintain first what we want. Go into a relationship based on what you want, not based on what you can do for somebody. Based on what you need long term to be poured in from a spiritual standpoint, not just jugging you when you low. Because men are the only thing that's not love unconditional. Women, dogs, and kids are love unconditional. A man is not love unconditional. He love unconditional that you do it. When you start doing for me, they question your manhood, not what you're doing. Now
That's it.
that low self-esteem kick in, and all it takes is 1 second of losing your willpower for you blow your brains out. If you don't hear that voice, and you don't, if you don't hear that voice, and because it's only that voice is a whisper, it's a suggestion. They ain't gonna talk loud. It's like, hey, you ain't hungry. And if you're not in tune, you're gonna do that, and you're gonna recycle, start over again. That's what's gonna happen. You're gonna recycle, because energy doesn't die, it just recycles. So once you look at yourself from an energetic standpoint, the songs, the music, even though, like you said, being faithful, the women we deal with transfer energy, bro. Like, we gotta be very mindful of the music, the food, the people, the places, all that is energy transferring. So they gotta be very mindful. Just allow yourself to feel it and make a decision. Do I want to go with it, or do I want to flow with it?
wow, that's fire. LG, when do you feel your strongest?
When I've accomplished what I chose to accomplish,
Hmm.
because there's so many factors trying to fight against that. And sometimes people look for me, and I want to accomplish it. I don't want to say, hey, don't support me. I just want to say, hey, those people, and those people also the same vein, those people that say, hey, you can't do it, and don't want me to do it. I don't I don't care. I do want to help those people that are encouraging me. I appreciate it. But I don't require it. It's all about me accomplishing it. And a lot of my accomplishments are geared towards helping other people. So it's all I can do is guide this vehicle that I'm in.
Hmm. Wow, that's good. Hmm. James, when do you feel your strongest?
This is gonna sound weird because of everything that y'all said, but
No, it ain't
I,
weird, brother. It ain't
I
weird.
feel I feel strongest when I fall because I
Hmm.
get up. When I get to that one knee, I'm as strong as I can possibly be because I know the next thing is gonna be I'm on my feet.
Woo-wee. Wow, that's good, man. I love that. All right. So the next thing, let's take it here. Uh, when do you feel your weakest, James?
Um, my weakest is when I love
Ooh,
Mm.
because I don't know what to do.
ooh,
And
Ooh.
I have to surrender to whatever the feeling is because I can't fight against it.
wow.
Mm.
So that's almost like, or it sounds like, when you love, you're no longer in control. That
Basically,
the emotion of love, the power of love, that attraction that you have, it takes over. And now
it,
you're doing all kind of stuff you ain't never thought you would do.
right. because again, I was never taught how to navigate love. I was shown love, but I was never taught how to navigate it. So when I love you, I give you all of me because that's all I know.
Mm-hmm.
So try a different lens or different perspective and look at what love actually is and what it actually means to love somebody. Flip the narrative, not that you're weak, but you're strong because you're able to love somebody unconditionally through
Right.
your love. Like flip it because when you are able to allow love and walk in it, that other person who's the object of that love, man, they're receiving all of this. They can't help but reciprocate that or get out the pot. One of the two. They can't help it. Like, so you're actually in a place, if I want to use it, not control, but you're in a place of guidance. Like you can guide with your love. And all you have to do is understand the purpose of you loving. And
Right. I think that's my issue is that I don't understand the purpose of why
you
I
get to
do
create
so much.
that.
Right.
You get to decide your purpose for why you love who you love. Where do I want us to go? What do I want this love to do in our life? What do I want it to do? Ask
Right.
yourself.
And the thing about that is now that you say that, I've been doing that with my self love. The way I
Mm-hmm.
love myself, that's how I've been doing it. Is what do you want for you?
Mm-hmm.
Where do you want to be? How do you want to be treated?
And you got to
And
write it down. Don't keep it in
right,
your head.
I've been doing that. I've been keeping recordings
Good.
so I can play them back and hear myself, so I can
Mm-hmm.
analyze myself and talk to myself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
When you said this, man, this is what you should have said because this is what's best for you. I know you love her, but when you love her, you have to love you for loving her.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Namaste. Go ahead. I saw you had something. Go ahead.
Now, he said it, but it starts within. You gotta love your inner her. You gotta love your inner feminine self within. Because a lot of times as men, we only love our masculine side, not our feminine side. Once you start showing yourself love, it's like you can't help but be it. Because now you're not judging other person based on your lack. You coming from a self-full standpoint because you're giving yourself everything you need, so she has to give you nothing. You giving yourself that, so now you being so loving, she can't help but love you back because you're so loving. It's not an outside situation; it's internally, and it's gonna be uncomfortable because you can't control love. It's not tangible. It's a feeling. So when you feeling some type of way, if you don't let yourself feel that feeling, you're not giving yourself no love. So it starts what you said with self-love, and when it grows, because with me, I had to learn to love myself unconditionally. When I show up upset, when I show up angry, my weakest point when I'm angry. When I'm angry, the lower vibration is taking control of me. I'm just ready to tear something up like Hulk smash.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
why I be
Because like I
very
said, mad or sad, we can do angry. Angry is
yes
easy.
all day. When I'm in rage, when we in rage, like I mean one time I black because I also had 13 concussions. So I'm labeled bipolar with aggressive tendencies. So when I black out, like all I see it did for me, it's fun beating people up. I smile, I enjoy seeing other people in pain. So I'm like, know what? This no, that's not organic, bro.
And it's only because you about to feel how I feel.
Yes, exactly. And
And I enjoy the fact that you gonna feel how I feel.
yes. And
Wow.
I'm in control of distributing how you feel. So that's
Woo.
Right.
and that's the way that we're used because we're so beat up on in the household on social media. So now I find somebody else, I'm gonna give you what I've been getting. So we especially us as young men. My mom bullied me as a young man, trying to make me be some type of religion. So most of our issues come from my issues come from my first love, which is my mom. So I understand the trauma that I went through, and if we got any kind of trauma with our mom, it makes our amygdala so much better, bigger,
Right.
fight or flight. So now I'm in survival mode. Any relationship I'm in gonna be screwed up until I hear that one with my mom. If you don't hear
Right.
that, everyone you're gonna be in gonna be shaky, bro.
Right.
Everything you be until you hear that main relationship
And
that
and
never
it's like you said with that self love, like
mm,
self love is just as powerful as self hate. I heard Nipsey Hussle said that when somebody shoot up your neighborhood and you gangbanging, when you go out looking for revenge, you're not looking for the dude with the glasses and the button up polo or the white guy. You're looking
right.
for somebody that look like you because you're
Yeah,
hunting yourself.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Fact. That's what
Wow.
it is.
Yeah, that's
Facts.
good. LG, when do you feel your weakest?
Self doubt. When I have self doubt, because
Huh.
that's the only time when I'm not thinking I'm just gonna get up. I could be immobilized. I could be mentally immobilized, physically immobilized, but if I have the belief that I'm gonna accomplish something in my head, as soon as I get up, I'm ready. If I have self doubt in my head, or I've allowed someone else's doubt to germinate into doubt in me,
Mm-hmm.
that's when things might not happen. That's the only time things might not happen.
Wow. So what do you do? How do you remedy that? Remedy that?
I learn my triggers. I know meditation is huge. I look for knowledge. I create my own masterminds. I think one of the questions you were asking about before, it's like I create my own masterminds because
Mm-hmm.
I don't look at the people that are in my community, the people that are in my near direction, the people that I probably call friends and family, to be my positive support system. They are the people that I can physically be around and we can have good times, but my guide, my direction or my trajectory towards a better place for my life, I create those masterminds.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not the same. It's not me going around people and having to be positive. I will not always see what I need in order to be the future self in every situation. So I create that myself through books, through videos, through trainings, and then also, if you guys ever give me advice, I take that advice and it goes into a box that may be used when it's necessary.
Mm. Hmm. So, and this is kind of for everybody. I know a lot of us have done, the self work to get to this place. Um, what about before? Think about prior to, oh, I'm this strong, well put
You
together,
you gotta
positive type
learn,
cat.
gotta learn to love that person. Like the Lawrence that wasn't able to do what I can do now. I love you. I appreciate everything you did because you did the best that you could at that moment.
Mm, mm, that's good. So it's not condemning yourself, beating yourself up. I wish I would have known better. Why didn't somebody tell me? All those conversations that you can have with yourself who didn't know. You just
Because the
you love and you
truth
embrace
is, my
yourself.
mama, my daddy, all my grandfathers, my sister, they would have known better. Uh, I mean, it's not so simple. You know better because we really look at like the psychology and our evolution, and genetics, and just biases and all these things that really go into everything. It's like even if they knew what to do, it's not always simple to do what you know.
Yeah.
It didn't happen because it didn't happen.
Hmm.
I gotta get rid of the blame and shame, which is a big thing we deal with from women as men, is blame and shame
Wow.
because they don't feel it the same way, dude. They don't know it hurts us like it does.
Mm.
And
Wow.
you can't tell someone this hurts you when they don't know how that feels the same way. And we
Woo.
don't want to hurt them the way they hurt us. We got to figure out a way for them to treat us better without hurting them.
Jesus.
Right.
Wow.
And then the last thing you want to do is attack the one you love, but you don't know how else to display how you feeling, and she don't get it. Like they say, your words have power, and when she come at you with some negativity, you just hold on to it because it's easier to hold on. Because, like I said, we can do mad and we can do sad. It's easy. So
I
we
think
take the common, you ain't gonna never be nothing, you just like your daddy, those negative slangs, and when we take them and we hold them in, you know
You know, one of the things is that I've had to learn how to do is be quiet. Just shut up. Just shut the hell up. And in that place, I have to ask myself the question, how do I feel? And if I can't answer that, then I don't need to even have a conversation with anybody, because I can't just expect them to know when I don't even know.
Right.
So it's like, you got to, you know, it's the question. And then, you know, Namaste said it, you know, well, what do I want? You know, how do I feel? What am I mad at? You know, what is hurting me about this situation? Is it really them, or is it really me who has a viewpoint of myself that is now just been validated by what just happened?
That
And now
part.
I'm
Yep.
stacking my own image of myself in a bad way, and I'm snapping because this keeps happening to me. LG.
You know, I was gonna say, as an introvert, or I mean, however I've become, it's like I'm not always that in touch with my emotions. So it's usually not angry. It's not me manifesting it a lot. No, it took a lot to get to the point where that was shown times. But when it did, it really for me, it was like, this just don't make no sense. What we're doing. So it's complex. It's like you can be that quiet person and still get blamed for everything. Like, I mean, I would imagine, James, you probably haven't always been mad. Sometimes you're able to hold your cool. You just seem like someone who can hold their cool sometimes. But
And that's my
even
problem. I can hold it too
you feel
well.
the heat then. You know, it's like, but it's like I don't feel. So to me, it was just like, this don't make no logic sense, which is something I had to learn through my research. Is like, men think logically, women think with their feelings, but that's just like the starting point. It's like, but to be able to understand, like I said something to my wife, and I just happened to be able to put it together just recently because of the new stuff that I was learning. Is like, we were having a conversation with our daughter. My daughter did something that we didn't like, but I was trying to have that conversation to trying to correct my daughter's behavior. Now my wife can get kind of angry sometimes, so I know my daughter feels it. So me trying to be helpful in this situation, I said, would you like to talk to me? Would you like to talk to your mom and me about this, or would you just like to talk to me? And that and I didn't understand how important it is for women to be part of that solution. So me, by dividing my wife in that situation at that moment, her reaction is supposed to be that. And I didn't know that in the moment, but I was lucky to get some correction from a couple different sources, like right after, just because, you know, I'm always looking for that next element to be better. But and I don't even know if that's hitting home, because it's brand new to me. Someone told me that it's like, so the big thing is like, you're even though your wife is mad or she might get angry, like, she wants to be included.
True. Very true. Very true. Where are we at on time? Looks like we've been here about an hour and 5 minutes. Just that quick. So we are going to go ahead and wrap this up. Definitely appreciate you. We will be back in 2 weeks. We're going to be doing this bi-weekly, sticking on this same topic, unpacking, unwrapping, and just continuing just to uncover how we can be a support for each other, and just speaking words of life, you know, just speaking words of life to each other. So on that note, does anyone have any last thoughts that you want to share? Make it about a minute or less, 60 seconds, maybe 30 seconds.
Yeah, my main thing would be the breathing. If we learn how to breathe in and out our nose, that triggers a different part of our brain. The prefrontal cortex helps us relax, peace, and digestion. While we breathe in our nose, out our mouth, that triggered the amygdala, like, oh shit, like I'm in trouble. That releases, that's the same way a zebra may feel when a lion chasing it, just for that split second. So I would say the main thing is be mindful of how you're breathing, and it helps keep you present. So now you don't get kidnapped by old emotional, different trauma that drag you down the rabbit holes that have you feeling this crappy for no apparent reason. So breathing will be the main thing.
Wow, that's good. James.
I would say just, get it off your chest so your mind can rest. I mean, holding it in is not going to do nobody no good, not you or the people that it's about. So if you release it and give it to the universe, then you can, let your mind be at ease.
Right. Got it. Got it. Alton, anything? Gotcha. All right, LG, last words.
Say, men and women, we're not, don't have to be against each other, but some of our, unfortunately, we can love our family and friends and not make them our only information source of how to do better. We can also create our own masterminds and use that, and that actually will make our family and friends better, and we'll get to see all the love growth.
Awesome. Awesome. All right, everyone. Just make sure you guys don't log off. We're going to stick around for a quick chat before we leave. But for those of you who are watching, thank you again. We will be back in 2 weeks. We'll be discussing men's wellness. Please tell your friends, your family, your boys, your girls, because we're definitely going to be going in and continuing to have some great conversation. And on that note, we out of here.